The gentleman from Carolina, Mr. Orrock.
Mr. Speaker, I rise for a point of personal privilege.
Gentleman has the floor.
Mr. Speaker, as I continue adding to this love fest this afternoon, I'm also taken back that I haven't stood for this many standing ovations since the last time we had a Republican governor.
And that's been a while.
Yeah. Mr. Speaker, ladies and gentlemen of the House, this man up here is, don't hold it against him, but very responsible on my actually being here. That when I was considering running for office back in the late 80s, there were two individuals I sought out in this body seeking counsel and mentorship. One was the gentleman from Hanover, Delegate Hargrove, and the other was, at that time, I believe, Vice President at National Bank of Fredericksburg. And I remember coming to your office there in the city, and we met, and you probably had a similar unimpressed opinion of me as Delegate Hargrove did at that first juncture. But in spite of that, y'all saw something in me that I didn't even see in myself. And I think that has always spoken to the type of individual that you are, that you see beyond sometimes what we see ourselves. You see the potential in people. And through the years, I have seen you put people in positions of leadership, put people in positions where they could influence the outcome of things in an objective and positive manner. But the greatest impact that you've had on me goes back to those first 2 years, because, ladies and gentlemen of the House, I had the great honor of sitting on this row right next to the gentleman from Stafford my first 2 years here. And I ask all of you to go back to your freshman year or first 2 years. We all came down here full of sass and vinegar with all the answers, ready to engage ourselves in this body politic and share, whether you wanted it or not, all the knowledge and expertise that we had, because obviously the people of our district had sent us here because we deserved to be here. And when a measure would come up and my sass and vinegar would start to want to bubble out and I would reach for the microphone, Bill would grab my hand. I took some umbrage at first, I must admit. It's like, dude, really, they elected me too. But he would say, what are you going to say? And I would share with him. And sometimes he would say, okay. But more often than not, his answer would be, and do you think that's going to change the outcome? Because. I think that's counsel we all can stand to continue to learn from each and every day. There have been times I probably stood, many times, I'm sure you would agree, since then when it's like, Bobby, why? I thought you were going to move the pending question, or else I wouldn't have called on you after all. But at the end of it all, William J. Howell, my speaker, my former seatmate, my friend, the Lord will look upon you and say, well done, good and faithful servant.
You're an incredibly hard man to say no to. And I've learned that firsthand. And I'll remember when you called my wife and I to come into your office to talk, and I had no idea what that was about. But you and a number of Republicans from the area had decided to ask me to run for the House of Delegates and for this seat. And I can tell you I had no idea what that meeting was, and I certainly had no intention to run. But again, you're a hard person to say no to, and you looked me and my wife in the eye and you said, Mark, I know it's important to you, and I'll make sure that you're in a position to make a difference in those areas. And I want to tell you, Mr. Speaker, you have lived up to your word, and I honor and respect you. I look at you as a mentor for me, since our districts are next to each other in Stafford. So thank you very much for everything you've done for us. So.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I don't rise often to make speeches. One, I'm not very good at making speeches, but I just felt like I needed to say something. I appreciate you for all the support and help you've given me over the years. I can still remember the first time we met at Jimmy the Greek's old Paradise Diner there in Falmouth. I remember you were still mad at me for winning the primary, but Yeah. I think maybe you got back at me by appointing me chairman of P&E. But anyways, Mr. Speaker, I know, there's been times when we haven't always agreed, but I've always appreciated your friendship. You're a man of integrity, a true gentleman, and I really appreciate all the help and guidance you've given me over the years. And the times when we didn't agree, I hope that you'll remember that I hung with you on the dog bill this year, and that'll make up for it.
Thank you very much.